Now, I know y'all see this picture right here. Y'all probably thinking, oh, Torian, what are you about to tell us now? Did he get a sentence reduction? Did it get thrown out and he's going to walk free? No, it actually has nothing to do with that. As far as we know right now, he still will be serving those 8 years in prison, which we know should be more than 8 years for the crime in which he committed. But the reason why I'm talking about this, it really doesn't have so much per se to do with the sperm donor that you see in your picture. It has something to do with certain comments I've been seeing on my timeline when it comes to the topic of interracial relationships or swirling, quote unquote. Now, I have been doing what seems to be a very interesting array of videos recently that talks about the topic of interracial dating, more so, of course, when it comes to black women with white men, but not even necessarily on the topic of who they choose to mate with. It's their choice of words that they like to use as far as throwing black men under the bus. Of course, recently I've been talking about Jodie Turner-Smith, and how she says she wants to go to Canada to raise her child because she wants to escape the white supremacy that's going on in the U.S., as if she's really going to outrun it. Like, going to Canada is not going to make it any better. Let's not forget that the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, got caught in a scandal recently when it got exposed that he was wearing blackface, which is one of the most racist things that you can ever do. That's throwback racism right there. And then, of course, you had Lonnie Love and what she said on the show The Real, throwing black men under the bus, saying that what I forget, I shouldn't have forgotten what she said, but you remember exactly what she said, basically about black men not being faithful and all types of stuff like that. And I had some black women come to my comment section basically accusing me of being completely one-sided when it comes to discussions of interracial relationships, saying, why do you always go in on black women? How come you never talk about black men and the stuff that they do? Listen, if you've been following my channel for a while, you would know that I've called out black men's behavior when it comes to interracial relationships. I can give you 3 examples. One, PK Subban, the hockey player for the New Jersey Devils, who is currently with Lindsey Vonn, who used to be with Tiger Woods. I had called out his rather weird behavior this past summer when he thought it was a good idea to take a picture wearing Lindsey Vonn's 2-piece bikini for the 4th of July. Not once, but twice. He did it once 2 years ago and once last year. He wore a 1-piece 2 years ago and a 2-piece last year. I said there's no way in hell that I would actually believe, well, then again, who knows, that a black woman would allow her man, if she was with a black man, to wear her bikini. At least I would hope not. But the fact of the matter is, he saw nothing wrong with it, and then he up there kissing Jerry Jones on the cheek and whatnot. Crazy. The most recent example that I can give you, I know I said 3. I couldn't. The second one kind of just slipped through my mind right quick, but hopefully it comes back to me. Is the one you have on your screen. Now, this one I've stayed very, very on top of, because this one right here is more worse than any other swirling story that I could have ever brought to you involving a black woman with a white man. Why? Because there was a child that was involved with this. This man had a child with a black woman who he was married to at one time. They ended up getting separated, divorced, however you want to put it. Then he ended up in a relationship with Cynthia Baker, who looks older and could possibly be older than this man. And she has kids from another relationship. And he brought his child into a very dangerous situation in which that girl was brutally tortured practically since day one, to the point that now she is dead. And he aided in that. This is probably one of the worst forms of interracial dating relationships that I've ever come across in my life, when it involves a child and the child is dead because of him being a weak man and allowing that beastly figure that he was sleeping with to do that to his child, and he aids in that. I mean, I'm telling you, having to read them articles update after update and learning something new, and having to hear that audio of hearing that little girl cry and seeing her having to hold those cans and hearing that he made her stand on her head. You can't top that with just merely me talking about something that Jodie Turner-Smith said or what Lonnie Love said, because they're always going to talk shit. They're always going to do that. But this takes it way too far, because you brought another person, another life into this world with somebody else. And then when it didn't work out with you, you move her into a dangerous situation and you aid in that. And now your offspring is dead. And he did this with a white woman. I'm not going to say palm colored in this video. He did this with a white woman. A white woman who did not birth this girl. She had other children from another man, and she never won. And I stayed on top of this case from the beginning. Many of the people that are coming to my channel, leaving those ridiculous comments saying that I'm one-sided when it comes to talking about interracial relationships, never once took the time out to even look at the stories I was doing when it was pertaining to this case, especially when it got down to his weak ass. Because if they did, they wouldn't leave those kinds of comments. Anybody knows me knows that I was absolutely furious when it comes to this case. I was pissed. I had to do multiple Torian Rage style videos on this story, which I rarely ever do on one particular story, at least. I'm still pissed about this. Having to hear what that little girl had to go through, like she had no way out. And this guy brought her into that situation. He's just as responsible for her death than Cynthia Baker. Her Rika Roundtree's hand and blood is on her sperm donor's hands just as much as her blood is on Cynthia Baker's hands. This man, the sperm donor knew exactly what type of environment he was bringing his daughter into. The sperm donor knew exactly what type of woman, or and I use that term loosely, that he was bringing his daughter to, and with the intentions of helping raise. This girl didn't even see 10 years of age. The minute that Cynthia Baker started to torture his child, he should have got up and took his child and left, but no, he stayed. And then I'm sitting there saying to myself, when I first learned about the story, I'm sitting there saying, so the dad is in the courtroom right there, and he's, concerned and everything like that. The torture to his daughter was going on for over a year leading up to her death. How in the world did he not see those bruises? How did he not see the chipped teeth? How did he not see the black eyes? How did he not see any of that? And he was in the house. Oh, that's why, because he was aiding in the abuse. His own Cynthia Baker, the white bitch, sister, or whoever that was, threw him under the bus. She was like, oh, you think I'm going to go down for this by myself? I may have delivered the final blow, but I didn't act alone. So that shows you right there. She threw him under the bus. Had she not said anything, this man would have walked scot-free, and we probably would have never knew he had any part in this. In a way, I'm actually kind of glad she threw his ass under the bus, so we could know that he's just as responsible. But hey, apparently I'm one-sided when it comes to this. Now, it's funny that a lot of people who like to talk about swirling and everything like that, or talking about niggas ain't shit and everything like that, never once heard of this story that I'm talking about right here. Many people didn't even know the story existed until they came to my damn channel. As far as I know, I am probably the only one who is talking about it. But people want to come and leave comments under my channel saying I'm one-sided when it comes to the topic of interracial relationships and why it's such a bad thing and everything like that. I've always said, if you want to date whoever you want to date, fine. But don't throw it into our face to try to make yourself feel better. Don't throw the people of your race under the bus to put the person who you're dating now on a pedestal. And most importantly, don't bring your child, if you have one, from somebody else into the situation with another race of being or whoever and let that child be tortured just for the sake of some pussy. It couldn't be that damn good. This man literally put another woman's pussy, vagina, above his daughter. If that's not one of the worst kinds of people that you can be in the world, I don't know what is. So to all of those out there who leave comments like, I don't come at black men for their dating choices or as far as interracial dating, then if after this video you don't see it, especially when I've been called this out, this behavior from him, then it's because you don't want to see it. Like I said, this guy, this sperm donor, brought his daughter into literally a hornet's nest. He brought her to slaughter, literally, to be tortured. He brought her to a torture chamber and she died. She's dead. She will never see past 8 years of age. And it's pretty much all on him at this point because he brought her there. Cynthia Baker did not go and seek them out. He brought her there. Moved her in. And she got tortured. It was even her own one. I think her oldest child got on the stand and even told to the jury and to the people out there what her own mother was doing to this girl. Her own child. Now I'm talking about her child that she biologically had with somebody else that she pushed out of her womb. But because they were kids, they weren't really in a position to do anything because they were minors themselves. Who knows? She probably threatened them. They said anything that she would torture them too. But the fact of the matter is, Richard Roundtree, the sperm donor, holds a lot of blame for the role he played in his daughter's untimely murder. Because that's what it is. It's murder. She didn't die of natural causes. She didn't die of an illness. She died because the sperm donor, her weak ass sperm donor, led him to that witch named Cynthia Baker. And together they teamed up. They formed up like Voltron and killed this girl. Now, you want to talk about one of the worst forms of interracial dating? Here's a prime example. When a life is lost, especially a child that does not belong to the one that is of another race, then that's an issue. It would be an issue either way. But since people want to come at me sideways because of it, we're going to focus on this. And I bet you not one of them, people who left those comments, like I said, have heard this story. Because if they had, they would leave those kinds of comments out of the various comment sections when it talks about quote unquote swirling. And I noticed that I've done so many videos about this. I've done more videos about this topic than I've done about Lonnie Love and Jodie Turner-Smith in the last couple of months. Between this one, I probably done damn near 10 videos on just this case alone. And I just started talking about it like in maybe late November. And I'm still talking about it now. And we'll have to talk about it again when Cynthia Baker finally gets sentenced. It's a shame I have to use this as an example just to defend myself on my own channel. Or maybe it's not me so much defending myself. Maybe it's putting certain people on blast. Like I said, 2020, the year of not biting thy tongue. That's really all I have to say when it pertains to this. And hopefully I won't have to address it again. And should those comments come up, they'll just get erased and the person or people will be blocked. Point blank, period. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure to follow me on Twitter if you have not done so already. Have your notifications turned on, and I will talk to you in the next one.